My name's Stephen, USSR Robinson, and thank you for watching Sporting Icons.
Alright Mark, thanks very much for letting me into your humble abode, your gym.
Thanks,
So this is one of how many gyms you got?
Yeah, 2 at the moment. Mate.
2. And where's your other one?
Crampton.
Cramlin, oh, okay. Yeah.
We don't have the boxing like facilities that we do in that one that we do down here.
Yeah.
This was set up because I had Swole ABC set up about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I was still boxing myself at the time, so it was more put the ring in. Instead of having like just my gym, my weights and what have you, put the ring in, then I've got somewhere to train myself for the future. And I always wanted to get in, well, I always wanted to coach. I was coaching sort of lads, sort of fitness side of it, so I just thought, yeah, let's do this. Then we opened up Swole ABC, and it was only meant to be, if I'm totally honest with you. Swole ABC opened up because I had a couple of two amateur lads that wanted to train us at the time, but I had a lot of lads like kickboxing, and then others that wanted to do a bit of white collar and all the rest. Not that I'm a fan of that, but they wanted to do that, so it kind of just evolved from that. And the next thing I knew, from just being a couple of people that were meant to be just joining a couple of sessions, and obviously my training, and it was evolving. And before we knew it, I think there was about 30 or 40 lads through the door for a session, and Stevie was one of them.
Yes, they said that when he first walked in, he was a little fat kid.
He was, yeah.
Well, big fat kid, I should say.
He was a big 6'7" fat kid, yeah. No, he did. It was playing football, weren't you? I think.
I just couldn't believe that.
Playing football.
An injury. Had a bad injury.
Yeah, we had about, I think at the time I had about 4 heavyweights in, which is a bit unusual for an amateur club. And one of his mates was like, "Oh, can my mate come down? He just wants to get fit in his football." I went, "Yeah, bring him through." And he's a big lump of lad, and then he walked through the door. I was like, "You weren't kidding." And I had some big lads at the time. I had a big lad, Curtis. He was a huge kid, massive puncher, was just big, strong kid. Graham, there was just 4 monsters, and then he joined in. He was number 5. And there's still a couple of them here now.
Yeah.
As well, yeah.
Oh, nice. And how far do you see Steve going?
To be honest with you, I genuinely believe he's in the next 18 months. He's got to serve his apprenticeship. They've got to get him through the tests first. He's had 2 4-round fights. Yeah. He stopped them both in the first round. He's ridiculously heavy-handed, but he's athletic as well. So I think he's going to shock quite a lot of heavyweights with his athleticism and his hand speed. But then, and they're going to be shocked by the power as well. I mean, they're going to know he can hit now because he's 2-0. So it's going to, as we go on, it's going to get slightly harder. But in the next 18 months, there's no reason why, if he hasn't done what he's supposed to do, we can be fighting for the British and Commonwealth titles. He's got to win them.
Yeah,
and then really do that, and then the world is oyster, isn't it? Really.
So it's all like just baby steps for now. And
then this next 12 months is just sort of the plan this year is to have 5 or 6 fights. We're going to do 2 more 4-rounders, and then you're stepping up to 6-rounders. We've got 2 or 3 6s in, getting 8 in, and then after that, I think we should have served the apprenticeship quite well, given the level of opponent that we gradually increase him to. If he's done anything right, then we should be ready to start a chance for titles.
So was it you that nicknamed him Hightower?
He came with that nickname already.
Oh, did he?
I gave him the nickname USSR.
Okay.
Because literally everywhere we went, wasn't it? Everywhere we went, we kept getting, "Oh, it's him from Rocky. It's him from Rocky." I think was it London?
Everywhere.
We literally got. I mean, it was everywhere. But like, the more we travelled in the ABAs, the more apparent it got. And I was kind of like, you know what, we're onto something here. And I kept saying to him, we need to just get the red shorts and just go with this whole Drago thing. And he was like, wow, because it's something to be identified with, and it's something different as well. Excuse me. Something different, and let's give it a gimmick rather than just have something like, I don't know, you got everyone's calling themselves executioner or KO or whatever it may be. Let's have something totally different. Let's just piggyback on the back of something that's already done, and people are already identifying you by, rather than just going down the high tower.
Yeah.
People are identifying you. There's
already a high tower as well.
I know, and there was already a high tower. But every time we put some videos on and we're away sparring, whoever it may be with, all you get is, bloody hell, look at Drago, like Dave Allen, sparring with Drago. Nathan Gorman had been paying Drago, is he making a Rocky 6 movie and stuff like that, isn't it? So, yeah, we went with that gimmick, and then when he walked out the first time on his debut, with the whole sort of Drago thing on, everyone was like, wow, and he obviously stopped Sean Duffy in the first round, and then we were in the back, and he was like, I'm going to go and see my friends and family. I was like, yeah mate, we're going to be out there for a while, because A, you're a heavyweight, B, you've just knocked them out, and C, everyone's looking at you like that. And he realised straight away what I was talking about, and that would capture that public imagination, and he really did, because it took about an hour and a half, didn't it, just to get through from the arena.
It's good though.
Yeah. And it was great though, but it was great for him to be able to see then, and kids what are now that didn't know him are now fans, and the messages you get through, lovely messages of support come through all the time, you know, from him, so it's great. But I get people stopping asking, saying, when's Steve fighting next, when's Steve fighting next? So I just got the tickets 2 days ago. No, I got them yesterday, didn't we?
They come through.
They arrived yesterday, finally. Obviously they were sent to the wrong Ivan Robinson.
The Welsh one.
Yeah, Welsh lad, he's coming out of retirement since the Nas lost. But yeah, we've got that, and I think I've just sent out a couple of text messages in a few groups, and I've already got a list of about 50 or 60 names and that was since last night, that like I'm definitely coming Monday to get a ticket. I think they've only been allocated about 150, is it 150? 120?
No, they've only given 100 first.
So they give us 100 first.
So I think we'll get them.
I'll get them more, because I'm pretty sure that, but I've told everyone we've got 100 first come first serve. So I've literally got a list of 50 or 60 names that I'm going to start buying them next week. So I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to shift most of them next week from, and then get on for a load more.
That's good though, because like the heavyweights in the northeast is pretty scarce. To be honest with you. Well, there you go.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But everywhere else is like, well, heavyweight is like popular within boxing. It's like the weight division, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
So to have one like a Steve, and whenever I speak about him on interviews like Dean and Dillian and things like that, I always go like a Steve Robinson and go, okay, who's that? I go, it's like Ivan Drago. Oh, wait, for whatever reason, it gets their attention, you know. Yeah,
well, it's kind of everybody knows him as that. Whenever I speak to like other managers and people up and down the country when we're arranging sparring, I'm like, you'll know him as the kid that looks like Ivan Drago from Rocky. Like, oh yeah, I know who you mean now. So it's identified in that way. You know, obviously you want people to know Stephen Robinson as the fighter, but it's if that's how they identify him, then everyone's going to know him anyway. You have to start putting the Drago ring music on, won't you? Yeah. To his ring entrance.
What was the old Russian national?
No, it's not. It's a different one, isn't it? He's a ring entrance. It's like some kind of hissing kind of thing.
Well, I thought it was the anthem from the USSR anthem. No, I'll have a look.
I don't think we could get away from Moana, really, could we? Because the last Christmas one was Run Rudolph, wasn't it? Run Rudolph, which was hilarious.
That's fantastic.
Drago walking out with that.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're a bit of a legend up here yourself, though, aren't you?
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Because I mean, you retired undefeated. Yeah, forced retirement.
Yeah.
It was, but you were not necessarily based here. You were based with quite a few famous people.
Yeah, I travelled. To be honest with you, it was my decision from a young age. When I was kickboxing and doing the boxing, I just wanted to go to these places. To, if I'm honest, I'm very sort of black and white with stuff. So like, I wanted to know if I went. I was 17, I picked up the phone, I rang Freddie Roach, I was like, hiya, mate, like, you know, squeaky voice still, like, I'm Mark Clauzel from Newcastle, I'm coming to America for 3 months, I'm touring I was actually touring in kickboxing tournaments.
Oh, okay.
Because the boxing season over here, we all shut down over the summer, and I wanted to stay active, so me and Joe had a look at what there was over in the States, and there was a lot more on the West Coast than there was on the East Coast in the summer, so rang a few contacts that we had over there, said I was going there to fight, and then I just googled Wildcard Gym and I rang Freddie Roach, and I was like, yeah, can I come to your gym and train me? And like, I'm touring there, I said, a boxing, kickboxing, I'm touring the West Coast fighting, can I come and train? And he was like, who are you? I gave me your name, he went, just make sure you're fit. Yeah, no problem. And I went over, and 17, I couldn't even check in a hotel. It was funny, I didn't realise I had to be 18, that was me young and naive, so I got a load of sponsors, went over, and I just toured the West Coast in about 5 tournaments that summer. It was great. Loved it, and just training with Freddie and the guys over there. It was just when you walk into a gym at that age, it's intimidating. Like I was like, wow, okay, because I walked in and you had
like Cotto, Pacquiao, and
mate, you had who was standing there? Shane Mosley was standing there. Pacquiao was standing there. James Toney was there. And James Toney's an absolute legend.
Yeah,
but I mean, Pacquiao saw him and the speed when he hits them shots. Wow, boy, mate. His coughs like that as well.
Yeah.
And then just to mix in and just, I ended up going back like quite a few times and.
You spar any of them, like a Pacquiao?
Yeah, I mean, I sparred Varnes, Mortal Rosen. He was at the Olympics, 2008 Olympics. Varnes, he won an IBF title, world title. So sparred him loads, sparred Kings Aikiki loads. Did a couple of rounds of only like 4 with Pacquiao. To be honest with you, it was just more when he was getting fit and I wasn't the right style. But then they put us in with Juan Lascano. I did a full camp with Juan for the fight before when Ricky Hatton had his comeback fight after Floyd Mayweather. I did a full camp with him, 12-week camp as his chief sparring partner. So I learned loads from that.
Yeah.
What I did learn, which the knowledge I try and pass down to these guys, was the way these Mexicans, Puerto Ricans fight. how good they are on the inside, the way they pick things up, and just all the time that I spent over there going back and forward. Just I picked that up so well from them. I loved it. Take some hidings, man.
Yeah.
Take some hidings up. You do get, I'm not joking, that Wildcard Gym has literally got sparring lined about the door around the block. If you want to spar, there's enough people to keep you going every day for 6 months. I'm not joking. The amount of sparring they can get. But when you walk in, you're around these guys that are successful, they're world champions, they just bring you up a level and you're learning from them, you know.
Yeah.
You're not going in there and struggling for sparring. Like here we struggle for sparring in the UK. I mean, maybe it's not so much in London, but especially in the North East. Like we said, there's only Simon that can spar with Steve from the North East. Otherwise we're travelling to Leeds, Liverpool, Manchester, London, Nottingham, wherever.
Do you still keep in contact with like Freddie and that, do you?
Yeah, I spoke to him not too long ago, to be fair. A friend of mine lives over there now, and he's in the gym quite a lot. He was going to do a bit of assistant coaching with Freddie, and I was actually speaking to him last week, and I was like, when's the next time you're in there? Just say hello, just keep in contact. He's a hard man to get a hold of now. If you ring the gym, he's got to pay, he doesn't generally answer. Right. So I always try and get a message over. Because I've been wanting to get Steve out there, to be honest. Steve and Basi, I wouldn't mind getting over there for a month or so with him. Just because, but time's got to be right, fights have got to be right, and I think right now it's probably.
Well, Basi, he's a fighting a southpaw, Pacquiao southpaw. You could have just put him together. There you go. Off you go.
I think that might have been the end of him. I think that would have been the end of Basi's career there with someone like Pacquiao.
Oh, brilliant. No, that's good though. That I mean, because you're now trainer, manager, and whatever. That you have all.
Shut up, man.
You have
Don't take that seriously, but not right. He likes to wine fuel about that one.
Being humble again.
Oh, nice. But you, so it's good that you have all the contacts, and because you have experience in yourself, you can pass it on. Whereas I know that a lot of managers, and I do get like some of the fighters that I've spoken to, especially like some of the prospects, they do whittle about like the managers. Like the managers just want to throw them in there. They'll throw them in there with, well, it's almost like the managers want to turn them into journeymen, things like that. When they're saying, "I'm not ready to be a journeyman yet." You know, if it turns out that I'm going to be a journeyman, so be it. But you know, at least give me an opportunity.
I mean, I'm honest with kids. I'll just tell them straight. I mean, I've had loads of people. You know, I've had loads of people asking us, "Can we go pro with you?" And to be honest, I've said no to them. Because I'm a bit of a realist when it comes to it. I'm like, what have you done? Like, oh, you know, I've done like, I've won this title and this title, but it's all unlicensed. I'm like, mate, it's Mickey Mouse. I'm not being funny, and I mean no disrespect, because there are some really, really good lads who've stopped boxing amateur and they're doing, you know, the white collar, and there's been some ex-professionals. Yes, so there are some good kids in there, but then you've got other kids who've never boxed amateur, never done anything like that, and they've had like 30 or 40 or 50 of these unlicensed fights, right? And they've won, you know, every Mickey Mouse. Look, I can put an unlicensed fight on, Sean, next week, and again, I'm not disrespecting it, because they work well and they sell well, and I know, and I can see why they sell, and there's an appeal for them. But I can put a Sean in and give you a British title fight in a month. I can go, right, I'm putting a Sean, I'm putting these kids on, do you want to fight him for a British title? And it's done like that because it's unsanctioned, it's unlicensed. Right. So anybody can go and buy a belt and call them a British champion. So you know, throughout that, you've got 1,000,001 British champions, whereas amateur boxing, if you're an ABA champion or an English champion, you are the one at that weight, you're the elite of it, so you know you're good. Put one of them in, who's only ever boxed unlicensed, who's the British champion, against an elite kid who's won the ABAs, they're going to school them in a round. It's going to be painful to watch. So when I get these kids coming up saying, can I do it, I'll be like, listen, come to the club, let's do some sparring, let's see where you are, and I have them come through sometimes, and they can't even hang with, I've got amateur lads who like less than 10 fights and they can't even hang with them, you know, so it's like, you can't do anything with them. I'm not being funny, you know.
It's bad though, because they come down and they'll say, oh, I'm British champion, or oh, I'm this, or oh, I'm that, and you'll go, oh, great, come down, and then you'll spar with them, and 1-2 rounds they'll pull out, you know what I mean? And then you just think, why you said that? Because if you had to come down and been totally honest and said, listen, I'm fighting unlicensed, I just want to try and get the rounds in, we'll just work on something, then Mark would say, we'll work on things, we'll do a bit tech sparring, but they don't come down with this mentality that they really believe in themselves, that, you know, they are a British champion, or you see them on Instagram, you know, posting up with the belts that they're a British champion. It's like, I play Call of Duty, I'm not a soldier. You know what I mean? It's the same as with these ones on Instagram that say they're a model because they've had a few photo shoots and paid some woman 150 quid to take a few photos.
He's right though, isn't he?
It's bad because, you know, as I say, they come down and believe in themselves that they've they've got something, and then when they go in against somebody, they're not true to themselves, because these shows are sort of falsely making them believe that they're going in against somebody else who's on the same level, and then they come with someone who's spent months, years in training, and I think they realise that, wow, it's not. Because you've had people come and want to turn pro, and then they've sparred and said, actually I don't, and then you see them on the next unlicensed show.
Well, you said before that Mark recognised that you should maybe turn pro.
Yeah,
because of like your amateur style.
Yeah, I was just too slow at starting. The 5 bouts I lost were all probably because of the first round. The one I lost one on the full decision. All the other time, and unanimous. All the other time was a split, and I'd say out of the 5, I probably won 2 of them, maybe 3. But you know, I was lost on a split because I started too slow, and that was just because of my laid back approach and the changing rooms, you know, and me and Mark just being the people that we are. We just had a laugh and stuff, even leading up to a fight. We tried to get serious, but it doesn't really work, does it? We're like Dumb and Dumber.
To be honest with you, it's crazy, because when I'm getting him warm for a fight, I'm like, "Are you alright? You're nervous?" And he's just like, "Nah." He's literally like, he gets warm for the fight, and he's pumped, he's exploded, the muscles are ready, they're firing fast. We gradually go through, and you can feel the power coming through. And I know he's ready. I know he's not going to go in the ring cold. But it's kind of like, you know, sometimes you want to see a little bit of emotion, or you want to see something like, he's got nothing. It's just like, yeah, whatever. It's kind of like the Drago thing. If he dies, he dies. He's just got that mindset where he switches from Stephen to the person, Stephen the fighter, but there's like no. And other fighters, you can see the rise, you can see the emotion, you can see the hype. You've got to calm them down. Some of them are too hyper, you know. Some of them are dead nervous, and you've got to get them past that nervous energy and get them settled. He's just like, yeah, whatever. Warm in 5 minutes. I'm just going to go in there and knock them out. That's my job. But the thing with the amateur stuff was, yeah, he was a very, not a slow starter, but like sometimes I'd come back in the first round going, mate, you're going to lose, man. You've got three rounds. That's it. We're 1 down now. You've got to get out there, and it's an uphill battle. You know that over 3 threes. But he doesn't do that now. He was a lot more picking his shots, sits on them, because he's heavy-handed and he's got that athleticism with it. I said to him, you know, let's do. He probably would have went pro a little bit earlier. I was like, now I want to get this experience out through the ABAs. I want you to box for England. I want you to get that graduation there and do that apprenticeship with that. And I think you've seen the benefit from doing it. You served that. But as well, you got recognised more as well. So it was then easier to, when you pick up that phone to get sparring, you know, what's he done on the ABAs, Tri-Nations, boxing. It's a lot easier to get the sparring, because people say you must be a decent quality calibre lad to be boxing for England, because they don't pay mugs, do they? So,
do you think maybe people can spend too long in the amateurs?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I think you become not so much. Yes and no, because they've removed the head guards now, and you've got your GB Lionhearts where they can fight the 5 rounds and all the rest of it. I think now that almost peekaboo computer sort of fencing, that style of just, I'm going to be here, and someone could, like, literally somebody could just beat you up, but you kind of take anything. Whereas in the pros, if somebody's putting that pressure on you, damaging blows on you, in the ring craft, you're gonna win the fight, you're gonna win the round. Right. Whereas in the amateurs, yeah, you know, you were able to kind of peekaboo style and just pick that shot and then come back here. That's what I call it, the peekaboo style anyway. The sort of fencing.
Face-to-face style.
Oh, for you, face-to-face style, yeah. So, it suits some people, but then being light on the toes and not sitting the shots doesn't always transfer to the pros. You know, that style, you can become so accustomed and adapt your body to it that way, that when you try and transfer over to the pros, you know, trying to get a little bit more relaxed, sitting your shots a bit heavier, doesn't always transfer. And you see some fantastic kids drop box with GB and they can't transfer to the pros, they just get beat up, you know. Not all of them realistically, you know, there's not loads of them do, but there is, I think, that point where you can probably overcook. Not only that, you can miss the boat as well. You can stay amateur too long and think that something's going to happen, you know, maybe it's an Olympic shot or whatever it may be, and you don't quite do it, and you kind of think, I've wasted 4 years. You've got a lot of experience from it, don't get me wrong, but you've missed that chance to medal, and you've missed that big contract that you might have got 4 years ago. So timing in this game is everything. It really is. It's the same with the fights that we're going to take. The timing's got to be right for it. The money's got to be right for it. It's got to be right for him. If it's not right for him, as trainer manager, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
You know, we'll always discuss everything. I'll say, listen, we've been offered this, we've been offered that. It's a winnable fight, or blah blah blah. It's what I do with Basi, you know. It's what I do with anyone. It's got to be right. If it's not right, we're not just going to go and fill a void for someone.
Right.
If it's a good gamble, if it's a good fight, and if it's got more pros than cons, so to speak, you know, if there's more advantages to them guys than when the gym were ready. Like this fight for Basi is a dangerous fight. You know,
he's an undefeated fighter, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's 11-0 team. So he's we know that Baz is up against it, but we've had a fantastic training camp. We've still got another good week of sparring next week, and the fight's the week after. He's had everything in place to go up there and win this fight. I mean, he's not going up just to pick up a good payday and to make a number. He's actually going to win because this fight opens doors. Yeah. So the risk factor and the reward factor, the rewards outweigh the risks in this fight. I don't really think that it's a risky fight anyway. You know, the records are similar. The knockout records are similar, the pair of them. And this kid's just a very tricky southpaw that he's fighting. So
you said about like sparring and that. Obviously, like when I came in, Basi was sparring there. But with Steve, because he's heavyweight, you find that you have to travel more than you can actually bring people up here.
Yeah. Again, we don't have many heavyweights up here. I spoke to Paul Truscott, who's training Simon at the moment, and not next week, week after next, they're starting their sparring with us up here. We were going to go to spar Nathan Coleman on Friday, just gone there. Unfortunately, I had all pre-arranged other stuff, so we couldn't get down there. So I'm just waiting for them to ring back, and I'm going to ring them up, and we're going to sort it out. So we've got one today. Someone's coming this afternoon to Steve spar 3 o'clock, and then next week I'll let you get in another couple of spars. But because we're still sort of 6 weeks out from the fight, I'm not worrying too much. I haven't got a spar now. We're still training every day. He's not stopped training since sort of the last one. We had a week over Christmas, just to really taking over, and we've been in the gym pretty much every day training since, just waiting for we knew these dates would come, we just weren't confirmed on when they were. We knew there was a February date or potentially March date, and we know there's something in the pipeline for April, so we knew it was that, and that was our goal, was just to aim towards boxing on them. So let's just keep taking over, keep fit, and work on developing new skills, push stuff.
So I mean, would you guys be up for going down and like sparring like Joshua, for example? Because obviously he's going to be looks like he's going to be fighting Pulev next.
Right.
Similar kind of, well, I think he's probably about 2 or 3 inches shorter than you, Steve. But he's got a ramrod jab, which you have.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, there's nobody I wouldn't spar, because you know I'm only going to learn from it. I'm only going to gain from it. I think I was eight fights in my amateur career, and Mark took us to a pro called Chris Burton, Hightower, who had, you know, he had been sort of at the top. I think he was fighting on Sky Sports.
He'd been in a prize fighter.
He had been a prize fighter, and you know, I was like, well, am I ready for this? And Mark says, you're only going to learn. First spar, you know, got me face punching, second spar got me face punching, third spar, 1 or 2 rounds I started holding my own. 5, 6 spars, you know, I was comfortably holding my own, and then after that, Chris is, I mean, I get messages all the time of Chris saying, you know, I think he contacted a betting company and put £100 on us to get a British title in the first 4 years of his fighting, and he got 151 for that, because he's been there, and as I say, I started with him, you know, getting my face punched in, but from that I was only learning. I was only getting better and better and better and better. So there's nobody out there that I wouldn't spar, and it's the same as that's why I need Mark, because there's nobody out there that I wouldn't fight. Not saying that I'd win, but as a fighter, I would, you know, it wouldn't bother me who I was going in against. We're just 2 men.
That's why you need Mark to almost save you from yourself, isn't it?
Definitely.
For me, it's kind of training him, but guiding him as a manager as well. It's kind of guiding him in the right footsteps, because as a fighter, you just go, I'll fight. That's your job, isn't it? I'll fight. And sometimes I think certain people can be kind of coaxed into a fight that realistically they shouldn't have. You know, listen, you've got to look at if someone's going to get a major financial reward for it. I'm never going to not put a fight to a lad and say, listen, they've offered this for that. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't do that, and I'll give them my thoughts on it, and then we'll make a decision together as a team. But yeah, for the sparring stuff like that, he would go, I'm going to get training him already for this. I'm like, you're not. I knew Chris anyway when I took him down to sport, known him for years, and it wasn't that he was going to get beat up off him, because Chris is a very respectful fighter and he wouldn't like take a liberty on him. You know, he would hit him because he's going to hit him. He's a heavyweight. He's going to hit him. He's just going to tickle him. But I said, well, you're going to learn from it. And I said, you're going to learn how to sort of hang in these rounds, these 3-minute rounds. So you're going to open your lungs in a different sort of way. You're going to learn to sort of navigate the ring better. I went, but otherwise, you know, we're not getting the sparring in Olympia because there wasn't really many heavyweight amateurs at the time either. So we struggled for that. So we started to do that, and then from that, it's just led to a lot of stuff. And then before you even went pro, Cash Ali, they were on the phone, they'd heard about it, other people had heard about it. I think at one point, who was it? The Fury camp on about actually having them in for some sparring as well, because they rang us up. It was spar with Huey Fury, wasn't it, originally? Spar with Huey, and we were like, yeah, no problem at all, we'll go and do that, because he was fighting a tall lad as well. So that's for that. It didn't.
Pulev,
there you go.
It was, right. It didn't end up coming off. I don't know what happened. They didn't. I don't think they wanted him for it. Maybe the style wasn't right, but yeah. So it's good because when you start travelling up and down there, word gets around. But listen, for him, he's only going to learn from this thing, and he can also we can get a measure of where he's going to be. It all depends at what point in the camp somebody's at as well. Because if it's his first spawn, this kid's 4 weeks into spawn, he's obviously going to be sharper, fitter, and get the better of the sparring. You know. So we're not naive to that fact, and obviously sparring is different to a fight. But it's good to get a gauge of where you're at as well, and then can give him a kick at the backside sometimes. Go, actually, I need to be here, but he's striving to be there. He wants to be there. He's in learning all the time. So good.
Are you looking to take on more people? As in, do you want like a big gym, like Joe Gallagher, for example? He has a lot of fighters.
I don't know.
Is it an individual basis thing then?
It's more of, can I personally commit to that?
Right.
If I'm totally honest with you, I've got a lot going on myself.
And I'm a jealous boyfriend, so.
Oh, is that what it is?
If somebody handsome comes in, I'm not
I've got 2 young children at home.
Yeah.
You know, I've got the companies to run. I set aside X amount of hours per day for Stevie's for training, and to work with Baz as well.
Yeah.
To then knock on the head the workload where I'm trying to get. My goal is to have at least 5 of these open, and I've acquired a couple more sites already now to open next year and the year after. So I need to keep focused on that. This is my bread and butter at the end of the day now. So
this is state of the art, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That gym out there is phenomenal.
No, it is. Thank you. It's just kind of I've got to stick with that. You know, with what's making money, because this also sponsors him as well, and it opens the doors for the travel and all the rest of it. You know, so it does pave the way and open. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having some more lads, to be honest with you. They don't necessarily have to train with me. I'm happy to manage people. But again, though, I don't just want like a book full of journeymen, because I did that a few years ago. I had about 11 kids on me books, and there was a few words just straight up, I just want to get money and be journeyman. But with that comes problems, you know. They get stopped, you've got to go to the board. They don't make weight, there's problems in you up and down the board. I mean, I had to pretty good board meetings down in Manchester, down in Sheffield and all sorts. And I thought, do you know what? I personally don't take any money off the lads. And I thought, bloody hell, I'm doing all this work and I'm doing all this, I'm not training them, but I'm travelling with them and all the rest of it. I'm not getting anything from it. And to be fair, it's ended up costing me money. So as much as it's a passion, you kind of have to sort of sit back and analyse what it's actually doing, you know, and go, is it really worth it? You know, and to me it wasn't. If I get some good lads come and go, would you manage us? There's some good lads that want, you know, I mean, obviously if they went, could you manage me? Yes, no problem, I would. If I knew they were good kids and they were going to go somewhere, I'd be more than happy to do that sort of thing. If it was, can you manage and train us? The management side would be yes, the training side would probably be a no right now. Until I get where I want to be and I can free my time. There will be a point in the next sort of 4 or 5 years where I'll be able to sort of step back and just do what my passion is, but until I get there I'm going to keep striving and pushing forward to achieve the number of gyms that I want to achieve.
That's a good honest attitude though, I think.
I'd rather not lie to someone and waste the time.
Yeah.
I tried it, it didn't work.
Right.
I was too committed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take an eye off of what makes me money, pays me mortgage. You know what I mean? got 2 young kids as well.
That's right.
I'm not going to say, oh well, yeah, I can do that and then not be able to. It's not fair to the boys either. It's not fair for me to go then, yeah, I can train you on a Monday but I can't train on a Tuesday. They need full-time commitment 6-7 days a week from me. And that's not just doing pads, it's travelling them down the country, doing the sparring, like when the Basi paying sparring partners to come in and do that, you know, pay hotel expenses when we go away and travel and do 3-day camps, because we do that quite a bit, don't we? We'll go up and down the country, and rather than driving back and forth every day, we'll just stay down there and we'll stay there for 3 or 4 days, you know, spar a couple of days there, train a couple of days there and do all that as well. So we'll just take advantage of going for a camp and doing that there. And it's not fair to go on the way with that and my commitments there. So I know right now my commitments with Stevie and Baz, and I'm going to just stick by them 2 for now. And if somebody else comes on board, they come on board. But a lot of people, remember, a lot of pros aren't full-time pros. They work as well full-time.
That's right.
So, which you tend to find a lot more in the north east than you do down south. You've got a lot that are full-time sponsored. Yeah. Whereas up in the north, we don't have that. We're not that fortunate yet to have the big backings. I think if with Sky coming back up here with the likes of Lewis Ritson doing what he's doing, that may change in the next few years. Because there's been a big resurgence of pro boxing. You know, Jaffa's doing a phenomenal job with what he's doing. The lads he's getting through, and that's really opening the doors up. You know, and then you know the way he's took Lewis Ritson on, and then Lewis winning what he's doing and bringing Sky back up here. It's a platform, isn't it, for the lads? Exactly. So we have to, as an North our fighters have to capitalise on that and be the best they can be, because if we're winning, Lewis keeps winning, and all the undercard lads win. It's only a matter of time before somebody else comes up. I mean, Tommy Wood, you know.
He's overdue a world title shot, isn't he?
Well overdue. Tommy's class. Yeah. He's in class. I know more than that.
He's one of the nicest people you can ever meet as well, isn't he?
He's humble. Yeah. So humble. The whole family are. Yeah. You know, they're great people. And they're proper boxing people as well. Yeah. But I'd love to see Tommy win a world title, honestly. Yeah. That'd be amazing. He deserves it as well, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But again, someone like Tommy win a world title, Lewis hopefully win a world title, but then you've got to look at all these who are kind of at that sort of precipice now, challenging for Englishes and Britishes and stuff like that. There's quite a few lads that are just about there now, aren't there? And when they get there, you know, Eagles Arena, it's a phenomenal. I don't know if Lewis is probably the only one at the moment I can see up here, realistically, with his popularity through what Matchroom have done with him, being able to sell out the arena. I might be wrong on that, so don't hold us to that. Yeah. But I generally see Lewis as the only one now being able to sell out the arena. But the likes of the Eagles Arena, you know, 3,500 seater, between the other boys, I mean, Joe Laws isn't far behind. His popularity,
very popular.
You know, he's
April is as well.
Sorry.
April's a very good
ticket. April is, you know, Stevie's starting to get there. So likes of the Eagles Arena, so they're nearly selling out or are selling out on 3,500 seats. And I think when it gets to the point where it's overflow with them, and these guys are going to start to look for to put stuff on, they can start looking to put stuff on the arena. But they wouldn't need. I think Lewis will be past that. Lewis will be bigger than that. Don't get me wrong. But then, if other people are there, they can then be putting them on headline in the arena and then fill it with the other lot. I can see that happening in the next few years, honestly. It really can, which is great.
You've done promoting before, haven't you?
Yeah, I did a couple of shows.
Is that something that you'd look at again at some point? Because Jaffa said that he's going to be retiring soon.
Do you know what? The only reason I stopped, I tried to do it a little bit different, and the way that we did it was, me and Steve, was my other business partner at the time. I mean, we still speak all the time about doing it again, to be honest with you. It was, we tried to do it a little bit different, and I'm not saying that the conventional way is wrong. We just wanted to try something where we didn't put boys in a ticket deal and we paid them wages, and it ended up costing a canny few quid.
It would do,
which I wasn't. We weren't naive to, by the way. We knew we were going in on a loss. We generally knew that. Martin Ward had the Commonwealth title fight on that.
Okay.
He won that fight, which then he went on and tried to shoot on for the world title. You know, I would look at doing small hall shows again. The problem is, right, you've got all these venues that don't want to work with you. And when I say they don't want to work with you, I'm not saying they won't give you the venue. They will give you the venue, but they want everything from you. It's not their, but then again, it's not their job to understand the way inner workings and operations of boxing. So when I looked at it as a business model as a whole, I was like, it's flawed. To me, it's flawed. You know, if you've got 1,000 seats and you can sell tickets for 40 quid, you're only going to net 40 grand, well, gross 40 grand, aren't you? Yeah. So it's 40 grand, but by the time you look at your running heads and your overcosts, you know, you've got to sell it out first and foremost. So let's say you only sell 500 tickets, you've made 20 grand. But by the time you pay your board fees, the venue hire, they're taking the ball, you've got your security, all your fighters in, you're in at 30 grand, you're at a 10k loss. That's not clever. That's not good business, is it?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what Jaffa told me. He says that for him he's quite fortunate because he's earning a good,
and he's got his business as well.
Yeah, exactly. But and with the Hootenless Spring, the arena there, so that he doesn't have to pay for that because he's got like a good relationship.
Yeah.
Which is great if you can get like that kind of thing because that's like a couple of grand saving just there, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that'd be good if you could at some point because I think promoters up here are pretty scarce at the minute.
It's not just that though. It's like I don't want to come across wrong, but if I said I'm doing a show, people aren't going to give that lads. There's certain people are just going to go, nah, well, now I'm not going to give you boy because listen, let's be honest, certain people don't like me up here. Yeah. I don't really care, and I don't like them either. I'm not going to mention names. I couldn't give a shit though. Sorry, shouldn't swear.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
But that's just the way it is. So I know I'm not going to get some of their lads on the show, and all they're doing is they're trying to stop me from progressing the other North East boys. So why would I take a gamble on doing it and keep having to pull shows and put them on and look like an idiot? I'm just not going to do it, am I? Yeah. I put a license in. I put an application in next door for about 4 years ago to try and get the alcohol license and the late license, and it just kept getting refused. Or it's only about 4 or 5 times because that would have been a good arena in there. I'd put
good location, isn't it?
Well, to be honest with you, I put in. I bought all the rig. I bought all the rig for lighting. You know, bought a ring, bought some bleacher seats and everything, and then about to sell the whole bloody lot. Because I wasn't just going to do boxing, I was going to do it as like events.
Right.
And all that sort of stuff as well. So we were going to get into sort of event management and all that as well.
Maybe that's something that you'll look back into in a couple of years' time or something.
Maybe in 5 or 6 years I might do it, you know. But as of right now, I've got absolutely zero intention of promoting at the moment. I haven't got the time. I haven't got the time. I could not run the clubs, look after the fighters, do the amateur stuff, and run a promotion. If I got a team and bought Pat Barrett, I was working with Pat, still I'm working with Pat, to bring something. Pat saw firsthand when I explained the difficulties and the barriers of what he would get when he came up here, and you know, other stuff. I was like, this is going to happen, mate, I promise you now. It happened, and it wasn't like I told you so. It was like I told you it was going to happen, and he didn't believe it, and then it did happen. He was like, well, there you go. You know.
It's unfortunate that some people, they put their own personal beefs ahead of maybe their talent. Should we say?
They're not boxing men, they're not.
No,
really, let's be honest.
That's my
They're
point.
in it for themselves. I'll openly say that. They know who they are. I don't care.
I know who they are too, but
so you know, if they want to stop progression, let them crack on. If they want to give it the big licks on Instagram and go, oh yeah, look, I'm doing this shot, crack on, mate. Like, I care. I'm not going to do anything over it. I'm not bothered. He's still going to do what he's going to do. Basi is going to do what he's going to do, and all the other boys in the Northeast are going to go on and do what they're going to do anyway. So they're going to box and they're going to be successful, or they're not.
Yeah.
That's you know, that is what's going to happen. What I do, what they do, and if they like me or they don't like me, that's not going to stop the lads winning the fights, is it?
Exactly.
It is what it is. That's just something they've got in with me for no reason. I'm not bothered about it though.
Well, it's like with Steve there, we always say, don't we, that it's not just about like this gym, you just stick to yourself. You guys go out and actually support all the other gyms as well for like the shows. I've seen you guys like turn up to like the events, even when like your guys are not fighting on the shows and that, just to support each other.
Yeah, I went out to Jaffa's last show to support all the Northern boys, support Jaffa on his show, support all the boys. We're going to do that because we love it. We love it. It's a very good, close-knit community up here, you know. And I think if there can be local rivalries, fantastic if there is, because that sells tickets.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and that's a promoter's dream to get 2 good lads in from the North East selling. You know, I'm going to bring someone from away. The boys will make more money as a fight, as well as a whole, and it's a great one for the crowd. So having the local rivalries between the fighters is I think it's good. If you've got 2 great fighters, innit? But they've got to be rewarded for it financially as well, though.
I agree.
You can't put your nuts on your line and expect to get pennies for it. It's not fair.
No,
But yeah, no, listen, what Jaffa's doing on his shows, it's phenomenal. He's doing a great job. Honestly, you can't fault it. You really can't.
I agree with you. Yeah, he's like a nice guy as well.
I think, if I'm honest, he's Jaffa. I mean, truthfully, Jaffa's the reason all his boxing is probably where it is in what he's done with the shows. If his Tony didn't go pro and he didn't get involved in it, would we be where we are? I don't think so. I really don't.
He was a good fighter, wasn't he, Tony?
Yeah, shame about his hand.
Yeah.
He's doing fantastic over in LA, though, isn't he? His stuff.
Is that where he is? I don't know where he was.
Yeah, it's boxing build, isn't it?
He's got a boxing.
He's got about two or three little, like 2 or 3 gyms where they do the boxing fitness stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure he partnered with, last I heard or read, was partnered with Mickey Rowe.
Oh.
Something like that.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, doing great with his boxing build. Yeah, Tony won.
Nice one. So you're going to be busy for like the next few weeks in. You got Basi with 2 fights, Steve with another fight.
Yeah, I got some of the amateurs out as well. So yeah, February's a busy month. So it's good.
And Valentine's Day.
Bye, and Valentine's.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
That's the most important.
Nah, it's great. I'm looking forward to it, to be honest with you. I'm just looking forward to this year. I think this year is going to be a really good year. I'm really excited for Basi's fight in the 8th because this opens doors for the kid. This is what he's wanted, so I got it from him. You know, I was like, okay, let's let you go. Let's have a. He's had 2 or 3 supposed to have come off. A couple of them have fallen through, not through our fault. One of them, well, I'm not going to get on that one, but on the night, yeah, just a nightmare thing. This one's a meaningful fight for him because realistically, this puts him up there to be going for the English.
Yeah.
Challenging for it all, and that's what I like for Bas. I like for him to get there and at least have a crack at it. If he loses this fight though, it's back to square one, and he knows that.
Right.
So we've got to build up again. So he knows how important this fight is to win and the doors he can open from.
Fantastic. Well, so let's finish up with a couple of predictions. Wilder, Fury.
Wilder, Fury. Well, do you know what? Fury did what he was supposed to do the last time, and he boxed the loads off him and had that fight in the bag. I still think he won it even with a knockdown.
I agree.
In the last round. So, you know, I think is Fury going to be, is Wilder going to be a little bit more prepared? Yes. I don't think he respected Fury enough the last time. I think he kind of thought, oh, you know, he's had a lay off, he's overweight, he's, you know, had all his issues, it's going to be an easy fight. That's my personal opinion on it. I think when he saw Fury in there the last time, he got the shot that was like, I think Fury's a much better boxer. I think he will absolutely box loads of him. I think the only chance that Wilder's got is like them crazy bombs that he throws. Because let's be honest, he's not a great boxer, is he? He's horrible to watch, but he's exciting to watch because you know that if one lands, you're out. So.
Would that be frustrating as a coach in that? If that's pretty much all Steve done was like lose round after round after round, and then at some point landed, would you be worried that at some point he ain't gonna land it?
That'll probably happen when I stop knocking him out in the first round.
No, the thing is though, as much as it would be worrying, he's got to have some knowledge and boxing acumen, hasn't he?
Well, he's very good at not getting knocked out himself.
He can obviously box. I'm not saying he's terrible, but when you look at him, when he does stuff, he falls over his feet. You know, but it works for him, doesn't it? What he does.
He's so skinny little legs. He's got like legs like his tripod.
But it works for him. And to be fair, are you going to not watch him?
No, of course, yeah.
Exactly. So there you go. So he's always going to make money, isn't he?
Yeah.
So you're not going to not watch him because you know he's got that crazy power. So and to be fair,
I watch him to lose. To be honest, that's why I watch him.
But if he didn't knock people out and he hadn't knocked anyone out, well, he probably wouldn't be world champion. But nobody's going to watch him. He's got that excitement because people want blood. Boxing is the hurt game. People want blood. They want to see knockouts. They want to see that. They don't want to keep going and watching somebody just go round for round for round. They're going to eventually get bored of it. They want to see. If they go to a boxing show, right? You want to see 1 or 2 knockouts. I think you're going to go away a little bit sad or a little bit kind of, well, I didn't get what I wanted from it because you didn't see blood.
What's a gladiator or fight, isn't it? So.
I've been the only knockout in the last 2 shows, haven't I?
No, the same stopped his lad now, didn't he?
No.
I thought there was a few other knockouts. To be honest with you, when I'm in the back there, I just kind of switch on to what we're doing. I don't pay too much attention to what else is going on outside until after their fight, and I'll go out and watch them if there's anything left on the card. But no, man, I just think I'm just being honest, mate. It's the hurt game. People want to see blood. They want to see people get knocked out. They want to see the lad there come to support and knock their opponent out. And I think if it doesn't always happen, if you were to show there's no knockouts on there, you might leave buzzing because your mates wouldn't, but you want to see a knockout, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Let's be honest. I wouldn't leave a show going, oh, there was that, because I watch him from a different aspect. Yeah. I watch him from sort of a coach. I think he's fantastic. You know, look at how skillful he is. I look at it from that way. But as a pure pundit, right? You want to see blood. That's the top of it. You want to see people get knocked out, and you want to see blood. That's what sells and puts bums on seats.
No, I agree with you. I think that's with like a Josh Warrington. He's a fantastic fighter, but a lot of people know he's going to go the distance.
Yeah.
So
sells though, doesn't he?
He does. Oh, in Leeds, yeah.
Popular. We went to Leeds. There was a load of us went down there. Who was he fighting? And it was a big outdoor one. We all went down.
Just last one at the football stadium?
It was the one before.
Well, Frampton then.
Was that
or Selby?
Was it John that went? You and John went to Frampton. You and John and that went.
Been that many recently, I can't remember. Yeah, what an atmosphere though. What an atmosphere. It was unreal. So,
They're mad down there, aren't they?
Yeah, and that was a good laugh. It was a right good laugh down there. Watch that, but again, he sells, man. He's a popular kid.
Yeah, he is. Okay, let's what about, it looks like it's going to be announced today or tomorrow, Usyk versus Chisora.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to win that one?
Do you know what Chisora? When Chisora's on form,
He's raw, like, isn't he? He's just
when
nasty, isn't he?
when Chisora's on
got that.
form, he's just nasty. He's horrible. He can bang, and you fancy him to beat him, but Usyk, he's an
just
unbelievable.
awkward southpaw, isn't he?
I know, and he's just
awkward southpaw. And everyone thought 4 or 5 rounds in, Bellier was beating Usyk because he brought it home, but Usyk lets that happen. And then he just pulls something out of nowhere. And I mean, he was a heavyweight in the amateurs. He fought Joe Joyce and stuff at the World, so he's got a good chin. So it's not necessarily going to happen that he's going to get knocked out in that heavyweight because he stepped up. But Chisora,
Chisora, is he? You've seen him have some bad performances, haven't we? And you've seen the Chisora turn up who's on form, and he's phenomenal. He knocks you clean out.
Yeah, he does.
And then you've seen the.
Sorry.
That's right.
We'll just wait a few minutes, mate.
Alright, cool, I'll come back to you.
Yeah, cheers, buddy. You've seen the Chisora that when he's on form, we know what he can do. He's unbelievable, isn't he? He's exciting, knocks people out. And then you've seen the Chisora that doesn't turn up, and he just he's picking up the paycheck. I thought he was just only fought here. He give it a good go. There was some bad blood with that one, wasn't it? But when he fought Fury the second time, didn't he? Fury. I mean, listen, Fury
just frustrated him, didn't he?
Yeah, Fury boxed phenomenally well. Then he kept on the outside. He couldn't get near him, and you can see Usyk being able to do that, can't he? Because he's that southpaw, that slick pedigree, the Olympics and all the rest of it.
And Chisora don't like southpaws. He's openly said that.
But he can bang though, can't he? You can see them. He's training with Colwell as well now, and. Colwell's a great tactic. Is Colwell training for this fight? I'm sure, yeah. Or is he not training for this fight?
He left him.
I read something about him not being able to commit to some of the fights with him.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay.
But it'll be exciting. Either way, listen, I'll watch it. It's going to be a cracking fight, innit?
Oh, great.
So I'd love to see. Let's talk about it. I'm a Brit. I want to see the Brits win.
Of course.
I'd love to see Chisora win because it
same.
brings more back to the UK for all the whole, the whole boxing community fraternity. It brings more back for us, doesn't it?
All right, let's finish off with somebody that you know very well, and apparently it may be happening at some point this year. Errol Spence Jr. versus Manny Pacquiao.
It's a hell of a fight, isn't it?
Does a lot of it depend on how the face is of Errol Spence, because he does look like he's got like a bit of scar tissue on his face now since the accident?
I'd say Errol Spence for that.
Errol Spence is just solid, isn't he? He's solid. You've got to give it maybe. I couldn't
I
go.
was
Two southpaws as well.
And coming, yeah.
It's that work rate, though, hasn't he? Pacquiao's got that work rate, them fast feet, them fast hands. He's been there, done it, wore that T-shirt.
Is it just a payday where he's...
I doubt he'll just take it as a payday. And he wouldn't have done what he's done if he was going to take it as a payday. He's going to be fully committed to that. But is he a little bit over the hill? Does he slow it down a little bit? I mean, Errol Spence is solid, isn't he?
He outdone Thurman, though, didn't he?
I know. Well, then you've got to look at that.
And Broner.
I don't know. I think Spence is a little bit tougher though than those two.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think he's a bit tougher. That's gonna be a hell of a fight. That.
It's one that we'll all watch, wouldn't it?
I think 5 or 6 years ago I would have probably picked Pacquiao because I would have thought he's a little bit more there now. But now I'm on the fence on that one. What a fight that's gonna be.
He'll hopefully gets made.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Who was I can do a talking about Spence fighting though? It was Crawford. Was it not Crawford?
Yeah,
was
that's
it
a
whole
wrong side of the street shit going on.
Yeah.
Billy Joe's fighting Alvarez as well, isn't he?
No.
Canelo, sorry.
No, Canelo, he apparently pulled out of talks with Billy Joe and Cam Smith. He's going to go over to Japan and fight Murata.
Because we talked about Cam Smith, wasn't it, as well,
Yeah, so I think Billy Joe will probably fight Cam Smith next.
Oh, yeah, can he fight? Be interesting, that.
It would. Definitely be interesting. Definitely.
Well, Billy Joe can take a shot, can't he? So, proved it, hasn't he, now? So.
That's true.
He's a lovely boxer as well. He's tidy.
Yeah, definitely is. Definitely as well. Again, like another southpaw.
Just put Eubank back in the mix.
Well, he's fighting Charlo next, isn't he? For the WBC middleweight.
I like Charlo. He's
Yeah.
a good fighter.
Yeah.
Charlo was good.
I think Eubank beats him. I hope you won't beat him.
Which one's undefeated? Is it the light middleweight undefeated or the middleweight brother?
Middleweight.
The middleweight brother's undefeated, and the light middleweight one, he's the one that's lost, isn't he? A couple?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
lost one. He's avenged it though, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
He won his title back.
With Tony Harrison, yeah.
Yeah, he got it back, didn't he? So, yeah, no, I've been a fan of theirs for quite a while.
Yeah.
It's hard it was. I like him.
And Josh Kelly, he's got like a bit of a step-up fight coming up in March against Avanesian.
Do you know what, I haven't really.
He's actually the underdog in this one.
I've not really. I saw Josh Kelly. The last fight I saw Josh Kelly was in his at the arena. To be honest, I've lost following what he's been doing. To be honest with you, but he's another good kid. We'll see succeed. He's not really up here too much, has he? He's spent a lot of time. You don't really hear much of him now because he's down south, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
So we've had Adam Booth, isn't he? Still Adam Booth.
Yeah, he's on the lock and key down there.
Yeah. I don't know what it was his last, but when he boxed up here, I mean, he eventually stopped the kid for the Commonwealth, didn't he?
Well, his last two fights have been in America, isn't they?
Yeah. Well, he was lucky on that.
Well, one of them with the draw.
Yeah, he was very lucky there. So that is what it is, isn't it? Gonna learn.
Okay, so for tickets for the February 29th MTK Eagles Arena for Basi and Steve, they can contact either of you guys. And
yeah, I've got so Baz's tickets. So Baz's tickets will be put on sale after the 8th. What I don't want to do is sell the tickets just in case he gets a cut, he breaks his hand on the 8th. So I've got them all at the front there, so if anybody wants any tickets, just come down to the Vision Gyms. You can send us a message on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. They're £40 for the open tiered bleach I've seen. It is at the Eagles Arena on Saturday the 29th of Feb. I've got a lot of them done. Yeah, we are limited to the number we've got though, so if someone does want them, we need to get on those fast. Because they are going to sell fast, I'm sure. So he's becoming a popular fighter now.
Yeah.
And heavyweight, isn't he? Like they all are.
Certainly. Right, lads, so I'll come down probably about a week or two before you head over to the Eagles, and we'll have a catch up as to how training's going. Obviously, we'll see how Basi gets on in his next fight.
Yeah,
so again, thanks very much for having me in the gym.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.